In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the PSP Go. This is a very old system that came out a long time back, and it was a flop immediately when it came out. A lot of people didn't buy it because it did not have the UMD tray in it, and all the games were supposed to be downloadable, so people with UMDs were basically screwed. But now that it's been discontinued and it's been in the market for a while, there have been many custom firmwares available for this, for each and every firmware that Sony has released. And custom firmware is really cool because it allows you to basically rip your UMD ISOs and put them on your system and play it anytime you want. Not only that, you can also play a lot of emulators on it. Some of the emulators that run best on it are the Super NES emulator. It runs very well, not excellent, but it runs pretty well. The Game Boy Advance emulator is excellent. It can play Game Boy Color games and Game Boy Advance. It runs perfectly, and it's really fun to play on this because it's such a small device. It's so portable, more portable than any Android phone that I've had or other game system that I've had. The controls are solid because it's made by Sony. They're very good. They're small, but they're excellent to use. The nub works really well for most games, and since PSP games are designed for analog nubs anyway, they work well. And besides the emulators, it can run PS1 games perfectly. Even now, most Android consoles can't run PS1 games perfectly. They still have some glitches here and there, but this one, you can run excellent PSP games like Gran Turismo, Phantasy Star, Resistance, Dante's Inferno. There's just some amazing titles, amazing RPGs on the PSP Go, like Ys 7, which is an excellent JRPG that I've been playing. It's a hack and slash dungeon crawler. So let me load up something that I have here. I have my Quake 2, this copied over here, and Quake 2 came out for the PlayStation 1. It originally came out for the PC, but it did come out for the PlayStation 1, and it's considered one of the best FPS games on the PS1 because it was ported so well. The graphics even today hold up really well, and the controls are so solid. You can customize anything you want on it. You can use the buttons in any way you want. You can use this for movement, or you can use the analog for movement. I usually use the analog for movement, but because I'm on a video camera, I'm gonna just use the buttons, the face buttons, and it works well. It looks great. This screen looks much better than the PSP, the regular PSP. The PSP, I think it was a 3000 or the street model. I don't know what it's called, but that one doesn't have a great screen. This has Bluetooth, it has Wi-Fi, so it's a very good package, especially with the PS1 emulation, the Super NES, Sega. I think it's a great package all around. Let's see, where was I? I'm sorry if the screen is a bit dim. I am recording this on my Tegra Note since my iPad is out of commission. Let's load it up. So there we have Quake loaded up, and you can see it runs very smooth. And you also have the gibs, which are basically blood particles or body parts flying away. It's running at, I think it's running at around 60 FPS, or maybe not 60, but very close to that. Most games run at 30, even in consoles today, but Quake 2 is, I think it's a technological marvel, the way it's able to run this so smoothly. The PlayStation 1 was able to run Quake 2 so well, and it looks great too. It doesn't even look dated. On the camera it might not come out as well, but it looks very good. This guy's tricky. It's like a frog. Well, we took care of him. And the sound is pretty good too. It has stereo speakers. And just the fact that this device is so small, if you compare it to the Vita, which I have over here, this device is just small, you know, and the flap, it just goes down, goes to sleep. It's really small, more portable, and you can play thousands and thousands of games on it. I mean, for value, I don't think anything comes close. Some of the other features, the PSP Go has a feature where you can actually pause your game as a save state. So once you pause it, you can exit your game, and it will be there when you open your no matter what you're doing on the PSP, whether you're listening to music or anything, you can just resume your game. There are custom firmware plugins which allow you to do save state, which is also pretty cool. But that's an interesting feature. So let me show you Super NES. I never had a Super Nintendo. In my country, it was called something else. So it was like Nintendo, I think. It wasn't a Super Nintendo, but it had a different name. Let's try running something. So this is just to give you an idea of how well Super Nintendo emulation works on this. For most games, it works really well. For some games, you might have to use Frameskip 1, and it's not a big deal. It's still pretty smooth, much better than a lot of Android games that come out nowadays. Even though Android has improved and gone like a long way now, but I like this game. This is kind of like a Golden Axe kind of game. And if you are into retro games, another reason why you should have a PSP is that a lot of classic collections like Capcom Reloaded, Atari Remix, they all came out for the PSP. And that's pretty cool because they're natively supported on the PSP and they work really well. Some of them even have achievements. So if you're a retro gamer, I think a PSP is like a great buy, especially now that it's so cheap and portable. The battery life is, I don't know if I told you this, but the battery life is about 4 hours on this one. If you buy a street model, I think it's 6 hours on that, 5 or 6 hours. Either way, it's pretty good. I think it's good enough that you can have a charger on it, and you know, it charges up pretty fast within like 1.5 hours or 2 hours. Not bad. So it's running pretty smooth. This is Legend. I saw this game on Metal Jesus Rocks. If you don't watch that channel, you should definitely check it out. He has some excellent games that he shows off, like many old school games and some kind of modern games. Not many, but some modern games too. And I found out about this game on that, and I have been loving this game. I've been playing for a long time, even though the boss is kicking my ass. Still, I use the save state. I don't know if it's cheating to use save states, you know? But maybe it is, because you can't really go through the entire game in one playthrough, even if it's small. There's like plenty of stuff to do nowadays. Now that I'm an adult, so. Well, here we go. Kill him. So, that is Super Nintendo emulation. Unfortunately, this is the only emulator I have on here. I don't have the Sega or the Game Boy Advance, which is an excellent emulator. I don't have that here. But, this should get you up to speed of what the system can do. You have the PlayStation Network store that you can directly access. I do have a bunch of PSP games I own, and I have ripped them and put them here. There is one game over here that I don't own, which I have to buy. I haven't bought it yet, but I will. On the PlayStation Store, you can, you know, pretty much get anything. Music playback is good if you have Sony headphones. So, yeah, I think I covered it. Well, what other cool thing? Oh yeah, you can have a lot of custom themes on this. This is a used PSP, and this guy had a bunch of themes on this. I've no idea how to put them in, but they're you can find the info online. So this is a Resistance theme, which is an excellent game. You should check it out. Resistance Retribution. You should get it on your Vita, and it's really fun to play with the OLED screen. This screen is also pretty good. It's close to what the new Vita has. It's an LCD display, and well, this is the PSP Go, and I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, go ahead and like it. If you dislike it, go ahead and dislike it, and go ahead and subscribe so that I can make more videos. And thank you for watching.